This is a Next Weather Alert from CBS News Miami.
And it is a Next Weather Alert day. Taking a look at radar right now, it is lighting up. The storms are causing a ground delay at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport right now and a ground delay at Miami International Airport. Next Weather Chief Meteorologist Ivan Cabrera is also tracking flood watches in multiple areas.
What an afternoon and evening. That's why we issued the Next Weather Alert. And it's going to continue through this evening, Naja, because of heavy downpours that are now, the radar's looking at it 1 to 3 inches an hour. That's the kind of rain that can really start flooding very quickly. And the storms we've been noticing towards Broward specifically have been moving rather slowly. Can I get the track box up so we can get the radar up? So again, Next Weather Alert through 11, but let's get you to the radar because really things are just popping at this point here and peaking, because by 8 o'clock I think we're going to be in better shape. There is the rainfall there, torrential downpours that have been coming in northwest to south. You have rain that is blinding from Pompano Beach essentially all the way down towards Hollywood and then making a turn across interior areas of Broward County. So when you see the red like that, that's depicting the kind of rainfall that is going to cause some flooding unless the storms are flying, and these are not doing anywhere near that. They're moving rather slowly, so the rain is going to accumulate. We're going to get into this batch here once this pushes offshore, but that may take another half hour. So they may issue a flood advisory, Weather Service, as a result of that, at least. So here we are, Hollywood, Pembroke Park, out towards Pembroke Pines with very heavy rainfall. Again, deep reds depicting there the kind of rainfall rates that, are generally 1 to 3 inches an hour. So Coral Gables now, this is a little boundary here that just kind of flew in. This storm, as a lot of them earlier today, just kind of popped here. So wouldn't be surprised to start filling in between those huge cells up to the north and a little further south. This is just kind of, a flat rain at this point here. There's no lightning with it, nothing juicy down across extreme southern Miami-Dade, but we have plenty of lightning on the bay side of the Keys and north as well, and over the straits, I should say, with heavy downpours that are just kind of teasing you there, but not really over land. So there's the movement there, and this is an hour loop, and you can see that, it's just kind of getting there, but it's going to be a while before we get rid of it. And then the other thing, too, is this boundary here, that's going to take a while to move to the south, and that's also moving rather slowly. So places like Miami Lakes, down towards downtown Miami, Brickell, that's all going to fill in. Watch this on Next Weather Rain Tracker. You see what I'm talking about? So it's picking up on that line there, and that's going to collapse down to the south, and that's when we get in on it. So talking 4:45, 5 o'clock. Evening commute is a mess, and it's going to be a mess. So if you know folks and you're watching us from home or maybe the stream that are coming home at that time, just keep in mind it's going to take them a while. There's going to be a lot of slow traffic this afternoon and evening. But watch this. As we head into 7 o'clock, look what our models are doing. Everything's done. So what's going to happen as far as the flood threat, as far as the heavy rainfall, next couple of hours are going to be key. So again, this is all a result of this area of low pressure that we are monitoring. The National Hurricane Center is monitoring as well for the potential of development. But by the time it has even a window to do that, it's going to be out of our hair. It's headed towards the Gulf. So that's not going to be a problem for us. But we will monitor that and keep you posted on conditions. Of course, if there are any warnings issued for our event right now, as far as flash flooding or even a severe thunderstorm warning, we'll be back. For now, send it back to Naja.
Ivan, thank you. A man working for a landscaping company died in Oakland Park. He was electrocuted while attempting to trim a palm tree on a property. It happened near the intersection of 17th Avenue Northeast and 39th Street.
It seems as though this is a guy who worked for a landscaping company.
We think so, because they interviewed a bunch of people from that company, which is a landscaping truck across the street, and they all seem a bit dejected. So I believe that's who it was.
The Broward Sheriff's Office has taken over the investigation. Neighbors sprang into action in Pembroke Pines when a small plane crashed into the community last night. A family of 4 was on board. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten spoke to neighbors.
Doorbell video shows the moments after this Cessna crashed into a tree, then hit the ground. This is in the neighborhood next to North Perry Airport. 4 people were inside. Neighbors raced to help.
And I ran inside to get the fire extinguisher. I ran over there, tried putting out the fire. We tried breaking the glass with the fire extinguisher. The glass was too hard. We couldn't break the windshield with it. The fire started building up again. I threw the fire extinguisher, ran to the back to get the water hose.
Emmanuel Jagno was one of the first people there. He tried getting the 4 people out.
When I first got there, their hands were hitting the glass. I'm trying to tell them, move the, here, this is the fire extinguisher right here. I was trying to tell them, move your hands off the glass, I'm gonna break it. And I started beating the glass with the fire extinguisher, and that fire extinguisher could not break that glass, no matter how hard I hit it.
That's when an off-duty first responder showed up with an axe. Eddie Crispin was there.
He was breaking the windows with the axe. I was pulling out the pilot, and we didn't know that there was 2 girls in the back seat because the back seat was like flat, and she happened to just poke her head out through the seat. And we noticed that there was 2 girls in the back seat. The mother of the daughters was on the bottom of the plane. Her feet were trapped.
Everyone got out alive.
Like, I wasn't even registering if the plane were to blow up. You know what I mean? I was just registering them people not burning up, getting that fire out and getting them out of the plane, making sure they're okay.
And another look at that crash scene. The people inside, 3 of them were taken to Memorial Regional, 1 to Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. All of them are listed in good condition at this point, so that's good news. Now, I did listen to the last radio transmission. It seems like the last time they heard from the plane was about 8 miles out. That's when the tower asked another plane that was coming in, asked the pilot to take a look around and see if a plane had gone down. That pilot was able to confirm that, yes, a plane, in fact, did go down. We understand that that plane began in the Dominican Republic, began its day of flying, and then stopped in the Turks and Caicos before coming to Pembroke Pines, trying to land at North Perry Airport. As for the investigation, the NTSB is conducting it now. In Pembroke Pines, Ted Scouten, CBS News, Miami.
New details this afternoon on a nasty crash on the Palmetto in Hialeah earlier this morning. Florida Highway Patrol says it was a deadly wrong-way crash. CBS News Miami's Maribel Rodriguez reports from FHP headquarters in Sweetwater.
Sadly, this is a situation we've been seeing way too often, people dying in wrong-way wrecks, which officials say are preventable. This morning, 1 person died and 2 people were critically injured. This was the scene this morning at around 1 a.m. on the Palmetto Expressway and Okeechobee Road. According to FHP, the driver of a Mercedes white SUV was heading northbound on the southbound lanes when he crashed head-on with a white Dodge SUV. The Mercedes flipped over several times. The passenger was ejected and died on the scene. The drivers were taken to the hospital. The Palmetto was shut down for several hours while officials investigated. Now, this is at least the 5th head-on deadly collision we've covered since January 9th, where a Miramar firefighter died. FHP saying these crashes could be avoided and are doing all they can to alert drivers.
People need to be aware that when you're traveling on any highway, the reflectors that you see on the road, if they are red, it means you are going the wrong way. Anytime you have a head-on collision, you're looking at maybe 60, 70 miles an hour. 70 miles an hour and 70 miles an hour is a 140 mile an hour impact. Yeah. Those are hard to survive.
And today, FHP making an announcement. They are launching Operation Southern Slowdown to save lives. As for the accident that happened this morning on the Palmetto Expressway, the names of those involved have not been released. Off the Palmetto, Maribel Rodriguez, CBS News, Miami.
Now to the Trump presidency. Just weeks after the Pentagon paused shipments of some weapons to Ukraine, President Trump announced a deal to send billions of dollars of weapons to Europe. Most of them will make their way to Ukraine. That's either directly or through NATO partners. CBS News Miami's Erica Brown has the details from the White House.
During a meeting with NATO's Secretary General Monday, President Trump announced a new deal with European allies to provide Ukraine with more weapons to protect itself against Russia.
This is billions of dollars worth of military equipment is going to be purchased from the United States, going to NATO, etc. And that's going to be quickly distributed to the battlefield. Ukraine will take it up.
The weapons will include Patriot missiles for Ukraine to defend itself against repeated Russian aerial bombardments. President Trump has grown increasingly frustrated with Russia's attacks while he pushes to end the war.
We actually thought we had probably 4 times the deal. Yeah. I mean, you would have called and you said, this looks good. Yeah. And then the deal wouldn't happen because bombs would be thrown out that night and you'd say, we're not making any deals.
In addition to sending more weapons to Ukraine, the president is working with congressional leaders on a bill to increase sanctions against Russia.
They said they'll have it as quickly as I need it. So we'll see. We're talking to him. In fact, John Thune's coming over later on to talk.
The bill, which has bipartisan support in both the House and the Senate, would impose sanctions on countries that purchase oil from Russia, including Brazil, China, and India, which could face a 500% tariff on goods imported to the U.S.
We're going after the people who keep Putin in business, and additional sanctions on Russia itself. This is truly a sledgehammer available to President Trump to end this war.
While President Trump has not yet committed to supporting the bill, Monday he threatened additional tariffs on Russia if they don't agree to a peace deal in 50 days. Erica Brown at CBS News, the White House.
When we come back, nicotine pouches have taken over and are growing in popularity. A new study shows the dangers it could have on young children who ingest the products. Now to the Texas flooding tragedy. There's a new threat of flooding. Heavy rains brought more water rescues yesterday in Kerr County. That's the same area that was hit with July 4th floods. The conditions yesterday forced teams to suspend their search for nearly 170 people who still haven't been found. Up next is a special Texas legislative session. On the agenda is providing more relief for flood victims and exploring the idea of an early flood warning system. In today's Health Watch, nicotine pouches are growing in popularity, but now a new study finds they're also a fast-growing source of nicotine poisoning in young children. The study looked at cases of children under 6 who accidentally ingested nicotine through products like vapes, gums, and lozenges. Most types of exposures fell after 2016, but exposures from the pouches went way up, rising more than 760% between 2020 and 2023. And finally, get ready to go back to Bikini Bottom. The trailer is out for the SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants. The new Nickelodeon Paramount animation film brings SpongeBob and his friends into the real world and the underworld. The 4th SpongeBob movie debuts in December. And that does it for your CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Najahe Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a great day.